Hey everyone, I've just been sitting here crocheting and figured now is as good a time as any to film a WIP chat. Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to the Unfinished Projects Club. My name is Jen. So I recently went down a rabbit hole of crochet patterns trying to find something that I wanted to use a skein of sock yarn for because I kind of didn't feel like making a pair of socks. I haven't done that in a while, so I don't know if the muscle memory is still there. So I found this simple cowl pattern. I'll link it in my description box below. It's a free pattern. I got it on Ravelry. If you are unfamiliar with Ravelry, it's kind of like a social media type place for fiber artists. You can search for patterns, store them in your favorites, download them, save your projects. It's kind of like for diamond painters, the Gems Flow app, but it's online. It's on the internet. So I used to frequent there quite often back in my days of knitting and crocheting more frequently. Haven't really been on there in a while, so I was just on there searching. And like I said, just found this free cowl pattern. Found a ball of sock yarn. Well, I balled it up. It was in a skein. This is called Aged Oak. I will also link below the company. I'm not sure. This is an older skein. I am not sure this company is still in existence. A lot of the indie dyers that were around back then don't tend to be in business anymore. So this may not be a current company. But if so, I will put all the information down below. But this is called Aged Oak. I thought it was really nice, neutral, very pretty. It's got all sorts of variegation going on, if you can see that. There we go. That's a little bit better. But yeah, so it's nice. It's a nice neutral pattern yarn color. I'm just sitting here on my couch doing this. It was the most comfortable place that I could find to crochet right now. So it's an easy pattern. It's basically one stitch variation to remember. So a good WIP Chat candidate because I don't have to think too hard. So I just figured I'd turn on the camera, do a little crocheting, chitter chat with you all. You can keep me on in the background while you work on something else. But I just wanted to hang out. So how's everyone doing? We are doing well here in Virginia. We got some snow this past weekend. Not as much as we were anticipating, thankfully, but it is cold. So the snow we did get isn't going anywhere. It was like 4 degrees when I woke up this morning. Thankfully, I didn't have to go anywhere. I'm working remote these past couple of days. Although tomorrow I have a dentist appointment, so I am going to have to get myself up and moving at a decent time, which means I'm going to have to go out and clean my car off at some point today. Probably when I'm done filming here. Just so I don't have to worry about it bright and early in the morning when it's, again, like 4 or 5 degrees outside. But yeah, so that's what we're dealing with here. Everyone's out of school. They're canceled. My husband's been home from work the past couple days. They shut down. So it's been fun and good times in the Unfinished Project Club household. My job never really closes. I mean, first of all, we have the capability of working remotely, whereas my husband's job, they don't. But also, apparently, they just don't shut down very often where I work. So even if we didn't work remotely, the main office is fully functioning today. They are open for business. So if I was going in, I'd have to be there. But listening to kids playing in the snow outside brings back memories. We have a slight little hill out back, so that they've been utilizing that for sledding. It's funny watching them go down the hill into a bunch of reeds. Hopefully there's nothing, no water or anything down there, because that would be no bueno. But I remember being that age, not caring if I crashed into whatever. We used to have a hill to sled on when I was younger, but we had to kind of go a couple blocks away to get to it. But we used to love begging our parents to take us sledding at this hill, and it wasn't even that big of a hill, but it was enough to sled down. Oh, I thought I caught something there, yep. This is one of those patterns where you basically go until it's either the size you want it to be or you run out of yarn. Again, very little thought involved once you get it going, which is kind of perfect for me. But finding something to crochet opened up a whole, I just went down a rabbit hole of patterns. I found a whole bunch of patterns that look really nice, and ooh, I want to make that, and ooh, I want to make that. And it's like, I don't need another blanket started or another whatever else started. So far, I have resisted. I cannot promise how long that's going to be for. I know I don't have to live up to my channel name and have everything started and unfinished, so I do try to be good. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. I've been making plans for what I want to work on next month, which I will share with you in an upcoming video. I believe I'm going to do a little wrap up and planning video on Saturday is what I'm thinking. Where I'll just kind of talk about things that I've worked on this month, how far I've gotten, and then just go over what my WIP Go calls are for February and how that factors into my plans for the month. But anyway, back to this. Yeah, so we've been dealing with the snow here. Went out shoveling the other day. It's heavy snow. It was light and fluffy, but then it started sleeting, and it actually sleeted most of the day on Saturday. So the snow got really heavy and crusty. I know this is not the best camera angle, and I apologize, but it got, yeah, really heavy and crusty, and like I said, it hasn't warmed up at all. The sun's barely come out, so it's not really going anywhere. Thank goodness for good neighbors, though. We have I mean, like I said, we're in Virginia, So this is not exactly the land of winter weather around here. But thankfully we do have a neighbor that had a really good snowplow. So he was helping plow everyone out, clean driveways and sidewalks and whatnot. So that was nice. Very nice of him. My mother, my family up in Western New York, they've been getting a ton of snow. My mom says that she's got about 3 feet of snow in her backyard right now. Her dogs disappear when they go out. They're not exactly thrilled. I mean, beyond the fact that the snow's taller than they are, it's even colder up there. So, yeah. The thing that irritates me, though, my mother is 70 years old. All right. She is not in the best health. She's, you know, she's a little old lady. She's got bad hips, a bad back. None of her neighbors help clear her out. They never come and help shovel or snow blow for her. They'll do everybody else. They'll work on themselves and some other neighbors, but they never come and help the little old lady. That is not the neighborhood I grew up in. That's all I can say. Back when I was a kid, everyone helped each other. I remember a neighbor a couple doors down. He would literally just go up and down the street and do everyone's sidewalks. I mean, my dad would go and help clear out driveways for people. These people, I don't know. They aren't. Thankfully, my sister only lives a couple blocks away, so she goes and clears her out when she can. And then we've got he was a work buddy of my dad's. He's kind of like a handyman, and he comes and helps my mom out with stuff around the house sometimes. He's been showing up and clearing out part of her driveway for her too. So thankfully we have that, but her neighbors kill me. I don't know these people because I have not lived in the area for a long time. I moved to Virginia over 20 years ago. So, I mean, I don't know most of these people, but it just irritates me. It really does. I wish I knew them well enough to say something. I just can't believe you would watch this 70-year-old woman struggle. She fell down her front steps a couple weeks ago. They were icy and she fell down the steps. Again, she's 70. I just can't believe it that you would in good conscience live near that and not help out. You don't have to be best friends with someone to be a good person, you know? I did try this on. I can get this over my head, but it does look a little tight. I'm probably crocheting too tightly. I do tend to have a tighter tension. I'm trying to loosen up, but it's hard. But anyway. So, around here, like I said, we've been dealing with some winter weather. There is the possibility we're going to get more snow this weekend. Lovely. Like I said, the kids have been off school because of it. My high school son and the college kids. My son's down just kind of hanging out in the dorms right now where he goes because everything's closed. Trying to stay warm. Thankfully, the dining hall seems to be open, so at least you can get food. My stepdaughter's classes have been canceled, but she's mostly online. So she she still has been logging on to check her work. But her, the place she works at, they've been closed for the past few days, so she's been losing shifts, so she's not happy about that. My stepson, where he works, never closes, so he's been off the past couple days, but he did go in today. They're both here, my stepkids. Their mother lives up in the mountains around us, so we always, when we have bad weather coming, we try to get them to stay here because, you know, get stuck up on the mountain when you get a bunch of snow. Roads don't always get cleared off up there. They might get more snow up there, so don't want to get stuck up there. I've been stuck up there during the bad storm when I first met my husband. So I know how it is. So yeah, the stepkids are here. My younger son is at his dad's. And like I said, my other one's at college. So that's how we're all dealing here. So as I mentioned earlier, when I was searching for something to make, because I just felt like crocheting, I went down this rabbit hole of patterns. I know I've mentioned on the channel a pair of fingerless gloves, and I was going to make those with this yarn, but the pattern I chose was a little bit more difficult. It's not a difficult pattern, but with this particular yarn, it wasn't working, and I didn't feel like stash diving and going down yet another rabbit hole, so I chose a different pattern. So fingerless gloves are still on my radar because these hands are cold. Like, my knuckles are stiff. It's cold. But what would you all like to see? I don't know how many of you are crocheters or knitters, but what would you like to see me work on the channel? Would you like to see me try making a garment of some sort? I've actually never done that beyond the socks. Would you like to see me make a blanket? I haven't knit in some time. So right now I've been sticking with crochet patterns just because the muscle memory for crochet is much more present. I'd have to practice some knitting for a little bit before I go ahead and pick up a knit pattern because it's been a little while. And knitting requires a little bit more brain power on my part. But yeah, in the comments below, if there's something in particular you'd like to see me make. It's probably the cold weather that made me want to pick something up and crochet. You know, you have those comfort hobbies, those things that keep your hands busy, that you tend to veer towards. I was doing a little cross stitching as well this weekend, but like I said, it's been a little while, and I really wanted to just pick up the hook, and I do have some stash yarn. I have quite a few skeins of sock yarn. Anything heavier for like a blanket or whatnot, I don't tend to keep around. So that's why I went with something like this. Because it wasn't like I was going to go out traveling to Michael's to buy some yarn or something in the middle of a snowstorm. What tend to be your comfort crafts? Things that you just sit down, keep your hands busy, get snuggled up on the couch or in front of the TV, that you can just mindlessly do and not really have to worry about. I'd love to hear what it is you all like to work on, and especially in the winter weather. Some people tend to like want to work on other things in the winter rather than in the summer. So another thing we've been doing this weekend is binge watching, obviously. We have been watching Man in the High Castle. My husband watched it some time ago, a couple of years back. I started watching it with him at that point, but I didn't finish it. He did. So we've been going through and watching it again because I would have liked to finish it at that point, but like I said, never did. I don't know why he finished it up and I didn't. I don't even remember now. But yeah, we've been binging on that. I'm always on the lookout for recommendations for things to watch, binge on. We don't we have some things in the lineup that we want to watch, but it's the type of programs where they release like an episode or two at a time. And since we're spoiled now, we don't want to wait. We wait until like the entire season's out before we go ahead and go watch it. We grew up back in the days of having to watch commercials and wait for your favorite show to be on, so we don't want to have to deal with that now. The PTSD from that for those days was real. Commercials are on. Run to the bathroom. Run and get your snack. Make it back before the show comes back on. Especially when I was a kid, we had one bathroom in our house. It was downstairs. So, like if I was up in my room watching something and I needed to go to the bathroom during the commercial, it really was a sprint. We used to have one of those big console TVs. The kind where you were the remote. Ours had a dial that went up and down on the front. And then when I got probably like junior high, middle school age, it was in my room. It didn't last long though. I still remember that thing blew up. It was, back then they had like the picture tube in it and stuff. And when the tube blew, the TV itself was toast. Sorry, I am in the zone here, y'all. So moving forward this week, like I said, I'm gonna have a wrap up on Saturday, where I'll discuss, projects that I've been worked on this past month, if I finished anything, and then where my plans are moving forward for February. So stay tuned for that. And then again, next week we'll have another WIP Chat. I will probably be diamond painting in that WIP Chat because I know that I'm going to have some WIP goals to meet. So if you prefer one craft over the other, just keeping you updated there. Are there any crafts you would like to see me do more than another or less of? Do you prefer it when I diamond paint as opposed to cross stitch or crochet or anything else? Let me know. I know a lot of my subscribers seem to find me through diamond painting rather than other ways, so. But like I've always said, I like to do lots of things, so that was one piece of motivation I had with starting a channel is just sharing what I like to work on, whether it be diamond painting or crochet or what have you. This would work up really fast with some really fat yarn. I mean, if you've noticed, I've gone around. I mean, I'm just going around and around and around. And I've gone around a couple of times already, just sitting here chit-chatting with you for, I don't know, the past 30 minutes or so. Yeah, for 30 minutes or so. So yeah, the only reason why it's not going faster is because I am using really skinny little sock yarn. But I have such pretty sock yarn. It's a shame to let it just sit and not be made into something. Last weekend, I dropped a Stitches to Sparkle video. We kitted up my upcoming diamond painting conversion, or cross-stitch conversion, I'm sorry. Kitted up 90 colors. Moving forward, the next video I'll have in that series is just, we're going to talk about how we print the pattern out on the transparency paper so that we can diamond paint directly onto it. So if you enjoy learning about cross-stitch conversions, definitely stick around for that. I am so eager to get that one started. The colors are so pretty. That and it's just a new start. You know how it is. New starts are exciting. Which is why I have a bunch of things on the go and nothing ever finished. It's like that dopamine hit, right? Oops. Well, all right, y'all. Like I said, just wanted to hop on real quick, catch up with everyone. But I'm going to let you all go. Thank you so much for being here, sticking around. Whether you were watching me crochet, crocheting along with me, working along with me, or just had me on in the background while you went about and did other things. I appreciate you being here in whatever capacity. I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye.